Old Jasper's been making some naughty sounds coming from this engine every time she's running. So I think what we're looking at is what I think is the tensioner pulley sitting right in there. Look how rough it looks around the outside. That can't be good. I bet that means that it's seizing up. So we're gonna start it up and spray it with a little water, and that should tell us if that's what's actually making the noise. But right now, looking at that, it looks bad. And I believe I bought the wrong part. Looking at that, it's rived on the inside. I bought a tensioner pulley, and if that's the idler pulley, we have the wrong thing. But let's check it out. There you go, we definitely have a screech. It's not bad. She gets worse. There, if we hit that pulley right there, that is the one making the noise. So I guess we need to get that off. Yeah, it's probably the bearing inside. Oh yeah, let's get that off. I don't like the way that's wearing on the outside anyway. Here's what I bought, and I think it is considered the tensioner pulley. BS pulley. They might be the same thing. They might just make them like this now. I don't know if I can trust that or not, but we'll pull that one off and talk to the dealer, make sure I know what I'm putting on. I've run into this before. Tensioner pulley versus idler pulley. Are they different? Are they the same? All I really know is hopefully it works. Guess I could pull the bearing out of this and throw it on. Anyway, I'll see if what I got is what I need and see what I need to get this out. Right here on my diagram, it says tensioner pulley. You see that ratchet? That's how we get that sucker to release tension from the belt. And then we'll have to release the belt, and then we can remove the tensioner pulley. So we'll lift that up. Right here, you can see. So you take this ratchet, lift it this way. We can get the belt out of the way. And then this is probably reverse threads. So we'll figure out what goes on there, and we'll just have to break that free, drop it off, drop the new one on, which is hopefully what I have, and we're good to go. But tensioner pulley. AC, I think that says. Nope, here's AC. I don't know what that says. Auxiliary. I don't know that we have auxiliary. Air pump. What's an air pump? Water pump, I know that. Crankshaft is to the engine. Power steering with AC. AC down here. So yeah, all right, so we'll check it out. Here we go. We're gonna rip this thing out, even though I don't have the right pulley. But we'll take it out, we'll compare it. We'll go to the store with the actual pulley and show them what we need. If you never did this before, you would think you need you think you wouldn't need a metric, but this 15 fits on there perfectly. And yeah, we just go with it. So what you're doing here is releasing the tension. You want to have a good grip on your bolt because you're not going to want to strip that out. But what you're doing is extending the spring or the tensioner. Get a good lift on there, and then what you're going to do is just push it out of the way like this. See that? It's flexing that way, and that's relieving the tension on the belt. So I'm going to have to use two hands for this. So I'm going to lift that out, push the belt out of the way, and then figure out which way the screw goes. Probably this way. Well, anyway, first I'll relieve the belt tension and then break the bolt free. I don't think I need to move anything out of the way. If I was using a socket, it really doesn't fit in here that well. I'd have to remove the air box and the fan shroud, and still it's not going to be a lot of great room. So hopefully this works out for me and I can just get that pulley off. All right, got the belt off by pushing it to the left and then switched my ratchet. Yes, I switched to a 15 millimeter. Boy, I'm tired this morning. It's tired, I'm morning. Switched to a socket and a ratchet. And see, running out of room. So it freed up real easy. Now, if I take this breaker bar off, we're probably close to being loose here. It just threads into the back of the tensioner. If I let this go, it's just gonna sit there. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and work this sucker free. Probably can do it with a hand now. It's very loose. And pull it out and show you. There she is, right out of the hole. They don't give you a lot of room to work. This stuff's all supposed to work on its own in there. But you can see that where it juts out, that's where it actually sits and rests. Slides right on there. She looks a little dirty, but that's about it. So, we have a bolt. I don't know, I shook that like it's wet. And then here's our washer. See how that goes? Sits right down in there. And then don't put that on wrong when you put it back together. And then here we go. Here's our faulty pulley. Yeah. This is what we need to replace, I guess. She's a squeaker. Actually, I'm not going to get her to squeak without pushing her too far. But you can see how it's been like pulling, I guess, ripping parts of the belt off. It just isn't turning as it should. So, yeah, I can't really tell if it's loose. But hopefully, we put this back on. We should check the belt, but since this is so easy to pull on and off, I'll shine a light in on the belt and make sure it's pretty good. And I think I'm going to continue using this belt. I will have to replace the belt at some point, probably. But for now, we're just going with this. So, it won't be a terrible job, but hopefully it stays where it needs to be at this point. And it's a real easy replacement of my pulley. And we're hoping that it fixes the squeak, because if it doesn't, we're going back in on the belt. So anyway, you can see, I'm going to say it's not the belt because this is obviously binding up and ripping the belt apart. And hopefully we stopped it using it and saved it before it gets too far. Well, anyway, that's our pulley and we're sticking with it. Like I said, I'll shine a light down in there, make sure the belt does look good, and we're going to replace this pulley. Now you ask, can we use this pulley that we were given in place of this one? Well, they're pretty close to the same size. Pretty close to the same size. I bet you anything the bearings could be swapped over. That's probably the same size bearing. But this one has a lip on the edge to keep the belt in place. This does not. They're about the same width and all, but I'm no professional, so I would not do it. Could you? Plastic pulley, metal pulley. Maybe this would be better. I don't know. I'm not going to be the judge of that. So we're going to go get a replacement new one of these. Well, Napa told me, run what we gave you and don't ask questions. So that's what we're going to do. They said aftermarket, all pulleys used to have these ridges. And now this is going to be plenty wide and also metal, so it's more solid than a plastic one. And you can see here where the belt wasn't even running. It's completely clean here. So this being as wide or even a little wider than the old pulley. That should run completely straight on there. And they said, do it and don't ask questions. So here we go. Metal pulley going in. Now it's obviously not that easy to get that in there and started, but I got it in there started by hand. So now as I hand tighten it, I'm gonna have to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. And we're gonna do this without removing anything else but the belt. Just make sure it's all on there straight and everything lines up, and you should be good. Yeah, any mechanic I ever talk to says, yeah, you don't wanna do this job. These cars don't give you much room. And this, I mean, vans are that way always, but this is an older 88, so there is some room to work in here. You open a hood on a modern car and there's really nothing you can do without removing half the engine, half the coverings. But anyway, I'm gonna start this by hand, and then when I get tight, make sure it's all lined up, and I'll tighten it up with my 15 millimeter wrench. All right, as it gets tighter, make sure that that washer is lined up in the hole, centered up in the hole. And as it gets tighter, you will start to notice that I should have a torque spec on this, which I don't. But when you get tight enough, it's just gonna start, as I tighten it, oh, it's not gonna work now. It's gonna move. So like you get it tight, it's gonna move because it's on the spring, on the tensioner. So I'm gonna give it another, I'm gonna put on my breaker bar quick. Just give it another quick jaunt. Oh yeah, it doesn't fit on this. Doesn't fit it. Ah, glad I don't have anything on the bottom. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it another quick push, and then it should be tight enough, and then we will loosen the tension, slip the belt underneath it. Everything's still lined up, so should be good to go at that point. We'll check it out. All right, you can see the belt is back on the tensioner Idler pulley, and this should be good to go. Before you yell at me, these are internally greased bearings, so you're probably thinking I didn't put any grease on there, but that's all inside, so don't have to worry about it. And look around your engine bay, make sure there's nothing messed up. Look, looks like I have a line here hanging down, and that needs to go on there, I believe. Line from the airbox breather tube. So I'm gonna pop that on there and give her a start. Let's hope I didn't destroy anything. Here we go. I'm expecting a squeak or two. Sounds like she's good. What am I hearing? Not hearing a squeak, but I'm hearing a little of something. Not like it was before. There's the squeak. Oh, are you telling me it's something else? I hear the squeak back, guys. I wonder if I need a new belt. Maybe I'll need to do a new belt. Well, it's a lot better. I think we can run with that for now. Well, that's how you change your idler pulley. We'll figure out this little squeak. Yeah, we might need a new belt, but it's a lot better. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.